You made a speech recently about the values of true libertarian, I think you called it anarcho-capitalism or something. I mean, the idea that you can have a truly libertarian society, that may have worked, 50 to 100 years after Australia was first settled, when people were largely independent and they were raised with very strict and similar moral codes. That's when you can get away with that kind of thing. But in recent weeks, we've seen behaviour on the streets that if people were left to their own devices and there was no overarching framework, there would be violence on our streets right now. Has the idea of this competing cultural environment tested libertarian values? And by that I mean the true extremist libertarian values. Is this a Western Enlightenment concept that perhaps won't survive in this new environment we find ourselves?
Well, I think anarcho-capitalism is certainly an unknown ideal. It hasn't really been done before. Now, I believe that we could phase government out over 30 to 40 years. We certainly would not want to do it overnight, because then there would be social chaos. But imagine if there was a law of the universe, Alexandra, which just said, so everything was the same as it is now, except the law of the universe said, there shall never be a government. So the people are out there, we've all got jobs, families, everything's normal, but we're forbidden by a God. We'll say God has forbidden society to have a government. So you know what would happen in that situation? People would work out how we build roads, have a good healthcare system. They'd work it out themselves through free enterprise and private agreements. Now, in relation to the recent protests, look, I have been probably the most outspoken person in the New South Wales Parliament in support of Israel, and that's something I'm proud to have done. I did, however, also at one point speak in favour of the Palestinian sympathisers being able to protest, because the Minns government was talking about banning a street protest. Now, everyone that lived through the COVID hysteria will remember they tried to ban COVID protests. Well, those COVID protesters were right about everything and the government was wrong about everything. Now, we do not... A street protest is a form of free speech, and we do not truly believe in free speech unless we are going to be agreeable to letting the people that we most disagree with speak. And so that's why I said, look, Chris Vance, this is wrong. You've announced that these Palestinians can't have a protest, and I support them 100% having the protest. Now, I said if they get up there and are violent, arrest them. If they get up there and incite violence, racial violence against the Jews, arrest them. There are laws on the books to allow that to happen. So, no, we could look, I think if we lived in a perfect anarcho-capitalist utopia worldwide, people wouldn't be sort of so fired up about political issues, because there'd be a lot less political issues. We'd be doing productive things. We wouldn't have one Elon Musk. We'd have thousands of Elon Musks, and we'd be out there exploring space. We wouldn't be fighting over politics all the time.